Today is day 5 of the General Chapter. It's Friday, it's the end of the week, and the entire day was devoted to finances. We began the day with a financial report of the finances of the general government. And I have to say my anticipation of this day involved the realization that whenever people with a vow of poverty talk about money, the talks tended to go on forever. However, to my surprise, after the presentation of the Econom General's report, there was a good and lively discussion. And I think it was centered mostly on respect for how far we have come as Redemptorists in professionalizing our ways of dealing with finances, in our transparency and our accountability to one another. The Econom's office, for example, has been professionalized, as has our investment policy, and the openness of the various units in reporting their finances is improving every year. After the discussion and a few clarifications, we then moved on to the second part of the day, which was the report of the Commission on Economic Solidarity. This commission was mandated by the General Chapter of 2009, and was invited to look at the economics and the finances of the congregation throughout the world and make proposals for moving from a kind of a provincial-based finances, meaning each province deals with its own finances, to a kind of economic solidarity where all Redemptorists around the world take responsibility for the resources that we need in order to accomplish our mission. Father Michael Keller from the Dublin province, who was the chairperson of this committee, gave a summary presentation of the conclusions, the proposals, the suggestions that this report would be making to the General Chapter. The report consists of 6 years of an awful lot of research, hard work, discussion with confreres, receiving feedback, and improving the text. And in June of this year, we put together the text in its final version for the chapter. Now, I have to say one thing before I call this a brilliant report. I was also on the commission. But the report really is, and it has been described as an inspiring document. It calls us to live the Gospels, it calls us to live our constitutions and statutes, and it calls us to live according to the principles of restructuring which came from the previous chapter. The first part of the report has 4 principles by which Redemptorists should live, and they are so important I'd like to repeat them to you here. The first principle is this: the resources of the congregation are at the service of mission. Secondly, we live simply and generously in solidarity with the poor. Thirdly, managing our resources with integrity is part of our witness to missionary solidarity. And finally, leadership and governance strengthens and deepens missionary solidarity at all levels. In other words, what we are looking at are the guiding principles, again from the Gospels and our constitutions and statutes, for living the vows and living them in accord with the mission to the poor and the most abandoned. These 4 principles were accepted by the chapter, they were voted for, and are now chapter principles for the guidance of the congregation in economic solidarity. The day concluded with a couple of interesting tidbits. Kevin O'Neill from the Baltimore province was elected as the permanent secretary of the chapter, and Father Steve Rayrauer from the Denver province, he spent a little time walking us through the working document that we will be dealing with next week. And I have to say that at the end of a Friday, the delegates to the chapter were happy to put an end to the day and look forward to a quieter weekend. It has been a God-gifted week, and we are grateful for the guidance of the Holy Spirit.